We are moving to the advanced level of Indian logic in this video, and this comes in the module of logical reasoning for paper 1. You could see some questions towards the end, and this is going to be really helpful. We have 2 or 3 videos on the same part in our platform. This is really advanced, so please go through those 3 and come to this. I am just taking to the basics again. Inference or logic, what does that mean? Rules that help us to arrive at a conclusion from 2 or more propositions or premises. So when there are 2 or more statements, this inference, the rules that help us to come to the conclusion is known as an inference. And inference are divided into 2, deductive inference and inductive inference. And what is deductive inference? Deductive inference can be valid or invalid. And if the conclusion is true and the question is true, then a deductive inference is said to be valid. So valid deductive inference has a true question and a true answer. That is the simple way of interpreting this statement. Deductive inference is invalid if this does not follow this logic. All other inferences are inductive in nature. That valid, only the valid the inference is deductive. Only a valid deductive inference is treated as valid. All other inferences are inductive in nature. Inductive in the sense the results are probable. The results of an inductive or an invalid inference are probable. We are not sure whether it is true or not. As per Indian logic, pramana is the source of valid knowledge. As per Indian logic, pramana is a term which we use for valid or deductive valid knowledge, valid information. It is based on the Nyaya school of thought or the Nyaya system. We have discussed this in one video which was uploaded recently, which speaks about the various schools of thought in Indian logic. Any knowledge to be complete depends on 4 factors. As per Indian logic theory, any knowledge to be complete need to have 4 factors. The first factor is pramada. Pramada is the subject, the one who knows is called the pramada. Second is prameya. Prameya is about whom he knows, about what thing he knows, that is object. So pramada, prameya. The third aspect which makes a knowledge complete is pramana. Pramana, we said, it is the means of valid knowledge. Valid knowledge. Something is valid, we have to be sure about the source. So valid knowledge is called pramana. And prama means what is the outcome or what is the benefit you would get with this valid knowledge, the resultant of a valid knowledge. So we have got 4 factors that decides whether a knowledge is complete or not: pramada, prameya, pramana and prama. Now pramana or valid knowledge could be gained through 6 means. So we are coming to the most important area here. The pramana or valid knowledge could be gained through 6 means. The first is pratyaksha. We have discussed this already. Perception. So I am not going to explain this in simple terms. I will give you some additional facts. Pratyaksha is perception, anumana is inference, upamana is comparison, shabda is verbal testimony. So these 4, out of the 6, the first 4 are part of Nyaya system. 1 to 4 are part of Nyaya school of thought, our school of thought. And arthapadi, which is presumption, and anubaladhi, non-apprehension, 5 and 6 are part of another school of thought which is called the Mimamsa school of thought. So out of the 6, first 4 are Nyaya school philosophy and 5 and 6 are part of Mimamsa philosophy. We will see each one in detail. These are all extra points not covered in the first video. Let us see each one in detail in terms that are associated with each pramana. So pratyaksha is the first. Pratyaksha is a combination of 2 words, pradi plus aksha. Pradi plus aksha. So pradi means function of each sense organ and aksha means the sense organ. Perception is a valid form of knowledge produced by the contact of an object with a sense organ. We have discussed these things in detail. Pratyaksha is divided into 2 kinds, important: anubhava and smriti. Anubhava means direct perception and smriti means remembered perception. So what you have from your mind is called smriti. Second classification of pratyaksha says divides into 2, nirvikalpa and savikalpa. Nirvikalpa is indiscriminate perception. Indiscriminate perception. Here an object is perceived without distinguishing features. This is mostly followed by the followers of Advaita philosophy. So without perceiving or without analyzing its distinguishing features, we are just indiscriminately perceiving this, just mugging up, memorized learning, which is called Nirvikalpaga. The second is Savikalpaga, which means discriminate perception. The distinguishing features are both observed and recognized. So we observe and recognize those features, which is called Savikalpa. The presence of God is explained in Pratyaksha. Important concept. What is God and how it is explained, interpreted is done through we are perceiving through our sense organs. That is what we believe, and it is Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha is applied to both divine or human as per the Nyaya school of thought. The third classification of perception or Pratyaksha is Laukika and Alaukika. So what is Laukika about? Laukika is also known as secular knowledge or ordinary knowledge. Laukika refers to the knowledge derived from trustworthy people. In Laukika, an ordinary perception knowledge results from the contact of sense organs with external object or Bahya. So Laukika is the ordinary perception that results through an external object, which is referred as Bahya, which is also known as secular knowledge, and it is perceived through our sense organs. The second category in this is Alaukika. It is also known as Vaidika or extraordinary knowledge. Extraordinary knowledge, the knowledge derived from God, idealistic perspective. The Vedas are believed created by God and perfectly valid according to the Nyaya school of thought. So this is the first source of knowledge as per the Nyaya school of thought. We have said earlier, we have said three different categorization. In Alaukika or extraordinary perception, there are three distinctions which you have to memorize. Samanya Lakshana, the perception of classes. Second, Jnana Lakshana. Jnana Lakshana is complication. And third is Yogaja, which means intuition. So remember these words, Samanya Lakshana, Jnana Lakshana and Yogaja are part of Alaukika or extraordinary perception that comes in the first source of knowledge under Nyaya school of thought, which is called Pratyaksha. Having completed the first, we are moving to the second, which is called Anumana or inference. Anumana is a combination of two words, Anu plus Mana. Anu means after and Mana means knowledge. So what you get after the first step, first learning. Anumana refers to the knowledge that follows the other. So you have to have some previous knowledge in order to make Anumana. Previous knowledge is known as Linga in Indian logic, and inference is known as Lingi. So remember Linga and Lingi. Linga is a previous knowledge and inference is known as Lingi. Now the third source of knowledge, which is known as Upamana. The English word is comparison. Upamana is equal to Upa plus Mana. And Upa means similarity. You are trying to exemplify, compare, and or Sadrishya. And Mana, as we have said, it is knowledge or cognition, thinking. So Upamana is the knowledge derived from similarity. It is the knowledge of relation between a person and its denotation. Similar knowledge is being understood. Example, when we tell a city man that a wild cow is an animal like a cow, later on when he sees a wild cow in a forest, he recognizes it as a wild cow. Then the knowledge of the wild cow is the outcome of the conjunction with the knowledge of the cow. So when he sees a wild cow, his imagination goes to, yeah, as my guru said, it is like the cow that we grow at home. So what is the connecting between his previous knowledge and something which he actually visualizes. So Mimamsa philosophy treats Upamana as analogy. So what I said is, till now it has been Nyaya school of thought. The Mimamsa school of thought says Upamana is equivalent to analogy. You are trying to compare. The fourth source of knowledge as per the Nyaya school of thought is Shabda, which is an English abbreviation as verbal testimony, and Shabda refers to the verbal knowledge you have. All verbal statements are not valid. That's something you have to remember about. The mere combination of words does not provide a valid knowledge. According to Shabda Pramana, the statement from a reliable person is only valid. So valid knowledge must come from a reliable or a trustworthy person. A trustworthy person is referred as Apta in this Pramana. The 4 steps of gaining valid knowledge through Shabda. So in this Shabda, within Shabda we got 4 stages. One is Apta. As I said, it means a trustworthy person. Karana, there is an understanding of the meaning of the words. You should understand what he says. Padajnana. Padajnana, the knowledge of words or memorizing the words. We have to understand the meaning and then memorize. And Vyabhara is understanding the words to their function. So just notice, it should come from a trustworthy person. It must be understood. It must be memorized and it must be used in practice. That are the 4 stages in Shabda. Shabda, according to Nyaya school, is divided into 2. Important. Drishtartha, one relating to perceptible object, which means sensible object attaining in this world, which is connected with your drishti. The second is adrishtartha, which is not related or which is related to imperceptible object, which means supersensible object, which is attainable to the other world. So these are 2 subdivisions of Shabda according to Nyaya school of thought. The 5th principle or pramana, this is part of Mimamsa school of thought, is known as Arthapadi, known as presumption. It is treated as a distinct pramana, different from Anumana and Shabda. So it is totally different from Anumana, inference and Shabda. It is presumption, because it is another school of thought. It consists in the assumption of unperceived fact in order to explain apparently inconsistent fact. So this may not be familiar to you. This you will understand this once you move to the head. We will see an example that would explain and give you a better idea of what is Arthapadi. Devdatta is alive and he is not present in his house, and we presume that he is elsewhere. So that is a presumption. He is alive and he is not in the house. So when we go there, you imagine that he may be outside. The essential element in presumption is that a certain fact like Devdatta being alive and not being present in his house is unaccountable without presuming another fact such as being outside his house. So he is outside the house, that will be perceived only with the support of 2 beliefs, that he is being alive and is not present in the house. So let's move to the details of this. In presumption, we proceed from the knowledge of something to be explained to the knowledge of that which explains us. So here the knowledge of something is outside the house, which is explained by 2 things. He is alive and he is not present in the house. Knowledge of something, Devdatta is outside the house. Knowledge of which explains it, Devdatta is alive and he is not present in the house. The means of presumption are divided into 2, which is called Anupadi and Upapadi. Anupadi refers to the knowledge of inner contradiction and Upapadi relates to its result, that is the reconciliation of the contradiction. So what you think inside you is called Anupadi or Anupadi, and what is supporting this, because of what is the reason or what is a contradictory thing with which you would assume that, is called or how do you confirm your belief, is through Upapadi. Here let's see, here Upapadi is Devdatta is outside. So Devdatta is not present in the house is a contradiction you have, and that is cleared through your connection Anupadi, that he is alive and he is not present in the house. With this example you can go back to the theory, learn these 2 words Anupadi and Upapadi. Another example, Devdatta is fat and he does not eat during the day. We presume that he must be eating during the night. Otherwise, the inconsistency between being fat and not eating during the day cannot be resolved. So he is not eating during the day and he is fat also. So we may assume that he may be eating heavily during night. That is Upapadi and Anupadi, you can connect. Here Anupadi, what is Anupadi? Inner contradiction is Devdatta is fat and not eating during the day. That is your question. The contradiction is resolved through Upapadi, that he might be eating during the night. So I hope the application is clear for you. The last source of knowledge, which is Anupalabdhi, non-apprehension. Again this is supported by the Mimamsa school of thought. It is also an independent source of knowledge like Arthapadi, not connected with the four pramanas that we saw in the Nyaya school of thought. Comes under Mimamsa school of thought. It consists in the presentative knowledge of negative facts. So how do you present negation? How do you present negative fact? Like something is not there. That is dealt in the sixth inference. For example, the absence of a jar on the ground, there is nothing on the ground, is apprehended through the principle of Anupalabdhi. Here negative facts are cognized by a special instrument called non-apprehension. So it is a kind of unlearning. You know something and then you say it is not existing. It's difficult actually. First you have to know, only then you have to non-apprehend it. In perception, inference, Upamana, Shabda, Arthapadi, only positive facts are apprehended. So the first five sources, perception, inference, Upamana, Shabda and Arthapadi, we dealt only with positive things. But here the negative aspect is being recognized. The concept of emptiness is the container presuppose non-existence. Something is not existent is actually dealt in the sixth pramana, which is Anupalabdhi. Now we solved a question before winding up this video. This was asked in NTA December 2019. The distinction between Laugika and Alaugika is made with reference to which one of the following pramanas? The answer is very clear. It is Pratyaksha. You just go back to the PPT of Pratyaksha and you can see those two words Laugika and Alaugika being dealt in perception or Pratyaksha. The answer is option C, Pratyaksha. So we have come to the video where we have discussed the advanced level of certain terminologies in the six pramanas. So we will be soon uploading a video with the structure of inference or Anumana in detail. After that we will solve the entire questions that were asked during NTA from Indian logic part. Then we will also be uploading videos on fallacies, Indian logic fallacies and Western Aristotle logic or Western logic fallacies too. Stay tuned, all the best, prepare well.